here's how I am going to ice in my cake. I'm going to use a square cake plate because I think it'll look cute. And to start off with, I just put one layer down, and usually that's the most uneven layer that I have. The reason is because there's always room to fix it. Now again, I told y'all in the very beginning, this is doing life my way. I am not a professional, so don't even worry about critiquing me because this is the way I do it. All right, so what I do is I make a big amount going around like a tunnel. Then if I wanted to put like a ganache in here or some kind of filling, I would do that right now. So I just kind of put that in there, and I like using this little knife. Now a lot of people use real big ones, and I don't like a skimpy amount of ice in between layers, especially when there's only 2 layers, because that way it, you know, it just fills it up a little bit better. It looks nicer too when you cut it. All right, so I just push it off the edge a little bit, and when I put the next layer down, I will squeeze it a little bit. And that's it. So now what I do is I just get a clean spatula over here. Doesn't really matter which one. And I put a big clump on the top. Not how anybody else icens a cake, I'm sure of it. So for you professionals, you're probably dying right now. And then I just start pushing it down. And I go all the way around. And I don't really worry about what it looks like. I have a turntable and all when I'm doing a fancier cake. But for right now, this will work just fine. Just kind of push it around. You'll see as this side comes around how it looks. And it'll look nicer when I get done. Don't worry, it'll look all decorated and you won't even know the imperfections that you see. And again, I like to make sure there's a good amount of icing on here.
Why wouldn't you just bring that mixing bowl over?
Oh, well, I could.
Getting your steps in?
Are you indicating that I might need them after this cake? Right.
Just a little.
Okay. So once you just cover the whole thing, you let it sit for a second, and then I'll show you how to make it look good and flat. And it's an easy technique. I just use a hand towel, but I'll show you how I do it. Now keep in mind, when you're using this icing like this, it's gonna look a little more porous than if you just made it without the cocoa, if you made not a chocolate. If you wanted it smoother looking, always add more liquid. But I kind of liked it like this, so this is how I'm doing it. This isn't a real big cake, so it's easy to use this smaller icing spreader anyway. And I bring it in a little bit like this. And notice it's not flat yet. Let this sit and then you can add more. And it doesn't take, but I'd say about 3-5 minutes to start getting a little crusty. Okay, so just leave it just like that for a few minutes and then we'll come right back to it. Okay, I'm gonna pat this cake. What I use is this old hand towel. The reason I use it is it's closely woven, and so it makes it stay. It makes it go flat when you pat it. Another technique for this is to use, I think it's Viva paper towels people use, but this is how I do it. Just rub it. And if it sticks a little bit, I wait a little bit longer. But you see how it flattens it out? And I'll keep doing it again. Once I put my decorations, it'll look really good. Just kind of rub it. There. Now I'll go around the sides. Again, I'm going to put decorations on the cake so it doesn't have to be exactly flat. again, this is by far not the only way to do this, but it's a quick, easy way, and it works. And in the end, it'll turn out really pretty. Now, I don't have a large amount of icing on the side, and the reason I don't at this point is because I am going to decorate it with the same kind of icing. If I was making a white cake with pink decorations or something, put a lot more icing around the side to make it look a little, you know, filled. You don't want the cake to show through. But what I'm going to do is put a lot of decoration with the same icing, so I'm not really worried about it. If you see a spot you want a little flatter, put it back on and go over that spot a little bit more. It almost looks like you put fondant on it once you're done. But you can see, it's pretty flat on the top. There's just one little space, and I'll look at Jennifer to come over here and show you how it turns out. Okay, see? It's good and solid. All right, what I'm going to do with this cake, just because I don't have a lot of time, is I'm going to use one tip. That's it. Let me grab this other pastry bag. Notice I'm not coloring anything today. I'm just going to do some chocolate decorations on here. And these throwaway bags are great, but I have the other ones too. They're a little smaller, and so they don't go as far. You have to keep filling them up. But you can get real big bags too on like Amazon and stuff like that. But you just cut a little hole in the bottom. Hopefully I'm not ruining this one. Push your tip in. Make sure it goes beyond whatever the indentations are for your decorating. And then stuff it with some icing. And like I said, I'm just going to do a real quick decoration. It'll look nice for dinner tonight. I'm sure my friend's going to love it. She loves chocolate. That's why I'm making chocolate. As I said, chocolate's not my favorite. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make a circle and a loop, and a circle and a loop. Just go around the edge. Now, they make a turntable that you can buy, and I have one. I use it all the time. But today, I'm just going to do quick and easy. Now, sometimes I'll add even another layer of the star, but this makes a good border. Now, if I make an extra layer, see what that just brings out a little more detail. Using this big decorating tip makes it very simple. Need more ice in here in a second. There, that's the first layer. And you can see that it is skimpy right here. You see how you see a little bit of the cake through that? But once I get finished putting that top part on, decorating it around, you won't see a thing. You walked into a cake store and it was sitting there, you'd buy it. Now, I'm almost to the end of my icing, so me doubling this is really what you need to do. And this is a small cake. So keep that in mind when you're making the buttercream. You have to burp your bag, which is just push this down a little bit so you don't have air. But if air is in it, it's okay because you can really fix anything. Okay, so I'm going to do the same kind of technique here. Just keep going right with my and believe me, this will be a lot of icing. Okay, so then you see where I've got that. I'm going to do, let's see what I'm going to do. I'll come in between. And you can keep just using your icing up, really. Like I said, if you don't put a lot on there to begin with. Okay, that little burp is right there. Just add something to it and keep going. Okay. So if we wanted to touch up a little bit of the edges to make them look better, you can put on a smaller tip, which I'm not going to do today because I just want to get this done. And that's about it. Okay. Now, if I wanted to add something in here, I could just do little stars or whatever, but I think it looks great. And like I said, it's for dessert, and it's going to look beautiful. So, and it'll taste really good too. Again, a simple box cake, a little extra with your decorating, and you've got a great dessert. Homemade. Oops, I forgot to say, please like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.